So yesterday I just inverted a statement that is one of my favorite statements. It's by Marcus Aurelius. It's 2 sentences actually. And his version goes, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That's a powerful and beautiful idea that I use almost every day to create. What's up, dude?
Dad.
What? What? So that's something that was standing in the way of my video, and it becomes the way of my video because instead of seeing that as a problem or an interruption, I presence myself to the joy of my son, to the fact that I have a son and the pitter-patter of his feet coming over here, and my heart fills with love, and then I come back to the conversation with you with a smile on my face and in my heart, and I'm more capable of sharing an idea with you, not only that's intellectual, but that's alive with the love that I have for the idea, also for my son. And yesterday, I inverted this idea. I spoke it this way. I said, the advance of action impedes action. That which has been the way stands in the way. So I'm saying it in the opposite way, but it creates a, well, here's why. I'll just give the most direct example, which is the most personal one. I worked really hard in my 30s, I'm 44 now, to wrap my head around the idea that simply being in conversation with me was worth paying money for. I worked really hard in my 30s to wrap my head around the idea of not building up building assets and scaling a company, which I had done previously with my web media business and my real estate business, very enamored with leveraging systems, people, financial leverage. So I worked really hard to create a way of seeing myself and my world that was really wrapping around the idea of being an artisan, trading my time for money. And it was hard for me because it was antithetical to my orientation as a business owner, right? And wanting to scale and leverage. But my heart was calling me to the craft of conversation, what can be created in a conversation. So I did a lot of work around my identity, my way of seeing myself and the world, to get myself to see myself and the world such that who I am as an artisan, I trade my time for money. There is glory in that. There is beauty in that. That can be enough. I can make all the money I need to do what I want to do through simply trading my time for money in the craft of conversation. And with that, I created an idea and I got really behind it, that conversation with me itself is worth paying for. And 10 years later, I'm being paid thousands of dollars an hour for the craft of conversation that I had dedicated myself to on a daily basis, study and practice, helping people to create a conversation, becoming a coach. Being a coach is a word for it. And so that has been the way for me. That has been the motivation, the driving force, the advance of my action every day. And now surrendering to something greater. Teaching, training, developing this company, the philosophy that has emerged in my work, and sharing that with people. So whilst I'm doing that, the greatest obstacle to me doing that is actually that thing that has been so fundamental to me in my success to this point. And this is just one example. I mean, every time you evolve and shift in your life, if you're doing that away from a certain level of success, whatever that has been fundamental in creating that success is the obstacle to the next path. And it's particularly powerful in the realm of identity. And so when you cultivate an identity or a worldview that is fundamental to your success, it's a strength. If you get called to something greater, something other, that strength will be an obstacle. You could look at it as like, well, a pattern or a habit, and it's hard to change habits. So you could say, you could make it that basic. It's hard to change the habit of seeing yourself in the world from one thing to another. But I like the idea of really honoring it as a strength. What has been the way now stands in the way. What has advanced action, what advances action now impedes action, the new kind of action. So the action of being a business owner who orients himself on a daily basis towards the proliferation of the ideas, like in my company, the philosophy of creating, who orients himself as not somebody who's paid for the conversation he is in as the primary act of the creation of value, but for other things, the systems that he builds, the trainings that he creates, right? And so then people don't, so extricating myself from the strength of the artisan and allowing myself to wrap myself, create a new identity. So that identity that I built was that which advanced action. The worldview that I created was the way, and now both of those things stand in the way of a higher order of the creation of something greater. And so that's what I meant by Marcus Aurelius's beautiful, incredible, insightful wisdom inverted. And I think it's just as beautiful the other way around. So thank you for listening. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Or maybe I won't, because we might not actually be in direct conversation anymore. How about that? The I'll talk to you soon. See, just created that right now. That's one of the expressions of the identity that who I am is to be in conversation with people, and that's the primary source of my value. So maybe I won't talk to you soon. Maybe I'll see you in the next video where I share another insight as a teacher, as somebody who has ideas to share. I love you. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.